Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Dimir Faeries. So, I tried a different version of a fairy deck that I fully crafted myself. And this is not an actual fairy deck in the traditional sense. There's a lot of fairy synergies, but really what I wanted to try out was Halo Forager with Ruthless Negotiation. I think that's a pretty good combo because what happens is that I make our opponent exiles a card, then I play Halo Forager, target Ruthless Negotiation, I flash it back for 1 mana, they discard a card, and I draw a card. So that is sort of the heart of this deck, to discard our opponent's cards as much as possible. The rest of the deck is to kind of back that up with a fairy shell because Halo Forager is a fairy. We can also get Ego Drain. Targeting Ego Drain with Halo Forager is great because that automatically gives us a fairy on board, and we get to exile a card from our opponent's hand. Now, of course, in a fairy deck, we definitely want some fairy sort of synergies with Faerie Fencing, when Spell Stutter. I also want to have Sleep-Cursed Faerie in earlier games, or earlier turns of the game, so that eventually they will wake up and start beating our opponent down. Since it's a fairy deck, we can also run 2 Talion and 2 Spellscorn Coven so that we have some counter spells and some sort of disruption abilities with the deck, right? Talion's sort of a disruption where we can make our opponent lose life while we draw a card if we name a correct number, and we get to look at their hands very often with Ego Drain. So that's kind of the idea of this deck. Let's look at the whole deck list. Early game, we have 4 Sleep-Cursed Faerie as our tempo play. Then we have a lot of removal in 4 Disfigure, and 2 Faerie Fencing. Technically, Faerie Fencing you don't play on turn 1 because it doesn't do anything, right? Turn 2 you can -1/-1, and that's not great. But if you do have a fairy, that's a 1 mana -3/-3, which is better than this figure. So that's why it's in the deck. We also have 2 Ego Drain. Again, this is not great if you don't have fairies, but this deck is full of fairies, so we can get there. And then we have 4 Ruthless Negotiations. That is the heart of the deck, so that's why there's 4. Even though it doesn't feel that great in the early games, it's just 1-for-1. But 1-for-1 is okay because eventually Halo Forager makes it a 0-for-1 because we flash that back, right? So that's a 0 for just casting Halo Forager. Allows us to get a Ruthless Negotiation. Our opponent minuses 1, and then we go up 1. It's actually -1 to +1, right? Our opponent loses a card, and we pluses a card because we draw a card. So that's kind of the long-term synergy of the deck. Turn 2, we're going to have 4 go for the throw, of course. We're going to have a lot of removal because we don't want to die. And we're also going to have 2 Spell Stutter to counter anything else that's not a creature that our opponent might be playing. And then we have 2 Bandit's Talon. So this is what I learned about Bandit's Talon. It's not a great card if you run 4 off, because if your opponent just plays around that and keep 2 cards in their hand, this card is dead. It's a 2 mana discard 1 card that you don't even get to choose. They just discard any card they want. That's terrible, right? But once we did all the Ruthless Negotiations we can and they have no cards left, this becomes a Phyrexian every turn while it doesn't deal any damage to us. So Bandit's Talon's a good card in that scenario, but it does require us to have for our opponent to have no cards in hand. It's a long game, so that's why there's only 2 off in the deck. Then the 3-drop, we got 2 Malicious Eclipse for board wipes against the Bunny Rabbits decks or a Convoke deck. And then we have 4 Halo Foragers for the heart of the deck. We can recycle a lot of the removal, recycle a lot of the card disruption or hand disruption cards. And then on the 4-drop, we technically have another 3-drop counterspell in the Spellscorn Coven's Take It Back. It's not an actual counter spell. It just bounces it back to his hand. But then we can play the Spellscorn Coven and they have to discard a card. If we discard all the cards left in their hand, this bounces their last spell, and then we play it, and they discard that spell. So that's kind of a long con. And we also have 2 Talion. Talion is good, and I only put it in the deck because it's a fairy, and it's kind of a fairy theme. You can definitely take Talion now if you don't like it and just put it in Shieldred. That probably will work the same way. And then we have 2 Gix Command, just sort of have a finisher. Gix Command also works really well with Halo Forager because we can just, recast Gix Command from the Halo Forager side. It's an 8 mana turn, but, for the long drawn-out games, 8 manas are definitely doable. Alright, so this is a very tempo-heavy deck. You can see that the curve just ladders down like this, right? So I have 24 lands only in the deck. We're probably not going to get mana screwed that often. I'm saying that, and I probably will, but the idea is that there's a bunch of 1-drops, a little bit of 2-drops, and barely any 3-drops. So, 24 lands should be enough, and I really cannot justify more lands into this deck. So the land base, 2 islands, 2 swamps, 4 Darkslick Shores, 3 Restless Reef, 4 undercity sewers and 2 underground rivers. I don't want to 4 reefs because you know, it's very hard to activate when we don't have that many lands in the deck, and I don't want too many underground rivers because I don't have life gain and it's gonna kill me. That's why it's a 3-2 split. We do have 2 Cavern of Souls because it's a Faerie deck, so we can name Faerie and we'll be able to play most of the creature spells. We have 2 Demolition Fields to pop our opponents, you know, opposing Demolition Field, their Fountain Pores, or their Mirrors. And then we have 3 Fountain Pores of our own to try to ramp up, or ramp up with the Treasure token, or draw cards with the second ability. Eventually, we will win just by attacking them with the Halo Forager. That's kind of the win con of the deck. It's not a very strong win con, but we'll get there. That's kind of the idea of this deck. And that's all I got for you today. Let's go into the games. Alright, our opponent is Sara86. You gonna drift all over me? Alright, opponent goes first. We got removal for days. I think I'm gonna keep Swamp, Hopeless Nightmare. I already know what I'm discarding. So we got Undercity Sewers to help us fix our draw. Fountain Pour is a good card against this deck. Maybe. Deep Cavern Bat. Good luck. It is no doubt I'm going to have 2 Fountain Ports. You take the Disfigure here, right? You take the go for the throw. I'm going to go for the throw of the bats. Yeah, see? Now that is a good play. 3 mana. What he's going to do for 3 mana? Probably play the Preacher. I still think I Sewer this turn. Okay, that's a good card to kill the bat with. So here comes the Preacher. Another Hopeless Nightmare. We'll drop the Reef, I think. I like the Fountain Ports, so I want to keep those. Bandit's Talent. I gotta drop my Coven, unfortunately. Because the rest of the cards are important. So... Level 2. Let's just kill it. We have a lot of Fountain Ports. Hopefully it gets us somewhere. He's gonna sack it for something. Shelly. Keeps 1 to the top. It's probably Aclazad or Shieldred. Another Bandit's Talent, okay. So we discard the Disfigure. Level 2 again. So we'll make a fish. It's gonna kill our fish. Yep. Alright. I don't think I need a cavern for this deck. So we'll put out a demo field. And the reason why I'm putting out the demo field, even though holding cards in hand is important, is because I can make a treasure. And that does not cost me a life. He can't kill a treasure. Cancel. That's not what I want to do. Let's tap this. Tap this to sack this token. We'll draw a card here. Fountain Port. Does not do any damage to me. And I get a Forager. Then I'll go to main turn. Do I drop another Fountain Port here? Don't think so. I think I hold back. He sacks his Hopeless Nightmares to fix his draws. 0 to the top is good. Those are probably 2 swamps. Deep Cavern Bat. You'll kill your bat. Ego Drain. Do I want to drain him? I don't think so. Start making the treasures. Disfigure. Okay. So, I don't want to ego drain his 1 card. It's probably not a very good card. So, let's drop the Fountain Port and draw more cards. I can kill the Aclazat, so I don't think it's that scary. I can also kill a Shieldred, so it's not that scary either. Two to the top. Now that's concerning. There is a Shieldred, so sack this token and draw a card. We get a land. We get an Eclipse. So I pay 2, and I'll have 2 more mana. So gotta be careful with how I'm paying for this, right? Actually, it doesn't matter, because I had to pay myself anyways. That's fine. I still get to pay 2. Go for the throw on your Shelly. Hold back the land. I don't need to play the land. Ruthless Negotiation, huh? I'll get rid of this figure. Alright, well I can't negotiate anything out of his hand. He's got no cards in hand, so... Maybe he'll pay 5 for the Ruthless Negotiation. We can only hope, right? He's probably gonna play whatever he drew. No? Alright. Then I'll discard the Eclipse. Plays the land. Oh wow, okay, that's a nice top deck. Kind of hard to fight through this. The ridiculous top decks he's getting. Does he have any more? Because if he does, I swear to God. Alright, let's sack a token to draw a card. Forager's okay. Not great, but okay. I mean, you know, it's got 1 card. Get rid of it. Thank you. I also have Ruthless Negotiation. Let's see who's more ruthless. Big spell? No big spell. Level those up. Let's start making fish. I gotta get lethal somehow, right? Take 1. What's the top deck? My own Bandit's Talent. And you have no card in hand, so it's not gonna help. Aha! Now what? You wanna keep that card? You wanna play it. Virtue? Oh no, that's very scary. It'd be a shame if it went back to your hand. Hey, you remember this card that you used on me? What if I use it on you? Do I need any instant speed cards? I'm down to 3 cards, right? I gotta be a little bit careful. Do I need to draw an extra card? If he makes me discard, that would be bad. So, that's all I'm gonna do here. Don't need to draw an extra card. I'd much rather not let him draw an extra card. Deep Cavern Bat. Probably take the Halo Forager. Not the end of the world to me. Let's sack this token and draw a card. It's a land. Hey! You remember this card? He's back. Okay, so I'm gonna play this, of course. And we'll pay... Take action, of course. We'll pay 1. Got a lot of cut downs. Let's cut down on your bat. Bat down. Do I want to play this land here and make a fish? I am at 9. It's kind of tricky. Well, let's do it. He needs to play every card he draws. He draws another bat. Gotta put a stop on my upkeep. Sacrifice a token. It's not the life that matters as much as him getting extra cards. I want to stop that from happening. Go for the throw. That's pretty good. Now I draw for my turn. I then go to main phase. If I level this up, I won't have enough. Actually, I do. Let's hold back as a blocker. Feels bad to block a 1-1 with a 3-1, but we're gonna have to do it. Oh, it's a dead card. Beautiful. Kill your bat. Get my Halo Forager back. GG. You don't need that many talents. They're not that good. Alright, our opponent is Regius. They do get to go first, but we have removal. Well, I have 2 lands for removal. So, let's see it. I mean, our opponent going first just means so much tempo loss, right? It's scary. But maybe we'll be able to come out ahead. I also need to draw lands pretty bad. They mow down to 5. That's interesting. Season Warrengar. Mowing down to 5, huh? Phineas. Actually, I'm not so much afraid of the Warrengar as the Phineas, so I'll take the 1 here. That is a land that I want to play, but is it more important to hold up, go for the throw for their turn 2 play? Not really. Okay. I like a Sleep-Cursed Faerie. If he didn't play anything this turn, then I can. Warrengar is fine. Not too much damage. He's got 2 cards left. discard one of those 2 cards. It's not just gonna hold lands in his hand, right? So he's gotta discard the last non-land card. He's gonna Sleep-Cursed Faerie on. Did I say Flareon? Good luck with whatever you're doing. Ah, GG. Well, down to 5 is no chance. Alright, our opponent is a guy named Joe. What kind of a guy are you, Joe? Well, okay. We got Darkslick Shores into a Spell Stutter, which is just a mana leak at this point, right? It's not great, but... Oh, mouse? Okay. I thought it was gonna be another one of those stupid deck. Mouse deck? I can try to fight. Manifold mouse? No. None of that. Start stuttering. Ow. Really? So I can kill your mouse and you won't do anything? Actually, why did I do that? I just untap. Spend his talent. I feel like he has some kind of protection spell. Monster's Rage. Four mana. Create a ward. I disfigure it. There goes your rat. What was the plan there, you say? Don't know. Don't know what our opponent's plan is. I'm just gonna pass turn. Gonna make a fish. Sack it to draw a card if I need to. Valiant. Whenever it becomes a target of spell or ability you control, look at the top 5. Alright, he's got no cards. Well, you know, this has to happen, so let's get that done. Darkslick Shores. Do I want more lands? I don't know if I want more lands. Especially not one that's gonna be tapped. Challenger. If I block and he pumps it, I mean, I don't need this fairy. Alright! Loser. Read the cards. Alright, our opponent is Eking. We're gonna go first against the Eking. Yikes. Well, this is a pretty bad hand. I'm gonna keep. Going first, I don't want to go down a card, so let's negotiate. Please be a bad deck and run some bad cards. Please. We can negotiate that, right? Yeah. Yes, we can. Alright, Darkslick Shores still untaps next turn, so let's ruthlessly negotiate some more. There's more of these. Bunny Wabbits. We took out 2 Bunny Wabbits. Quest Caller and a Burrogar Mentor. Alright. We negotiated twice. And I think our negotiation was successful. Our opponent's out. Alright, our opponent is Dragonite82. Yikes. Opponent goes first. 2 Disfigures and a Negotiate. It looks like mono black, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna keep. Not great. I guess mono black is a terrible hand, but if they're red, which they are, now it turns into a fantastic hand. Well, not really fantastic, but so Disfigure minus is 2. Can I afford to Disfigure the hero? I gotta do it as soon as possible, I think. Can't afford to wait. Plots? Okay. I mean, like 2-for-1s are great, right? But I don't think I can. I don't think I have the time. So, do we ruthlessly negotiate this turn? We can Disfigure into a Spell Stutter next turn. Or next turn I can hold up a Spell Stutter. Spell Stutter is not really that good. So we negotiate it. Exiles a land, okay. Challenger. Plays a Slick Shot, show off. Guess we'll take this damage. Just gonna take 3 here. Might of the Meek. Kill it. Eclipse it is. Unfortunate. But it's fine. At least I killed this. Does he have any more creatures? He does. Damn it. If he has more creatures, I'm gonna struggle to fight now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to struggle to fight. This is gonna be 2 damage a turn for quite some time. Honestly, like, the Spell Stutter is not really gonna counter everything he plays. It's not a guarantee either. One mana pump spell just kind of goes through this, right? It's only a 2 mana play that I can counter. He doesn't even make any. Let's thin out our own deck. Take action. We'll get a blue. Fountain Port. I don't think I can afford to negotiate this turn. Right, I take too much from a Manifold Mouse if I do that. There's a Swifty. No pumps. So he deals the damage. Let's get a treasure. He's got something. Another Spell Stutter is not great either. I mean, I can't believe I drew all my Spell Stutters before anything else. Sack this to draw a card is also not that enticing, right? I could do this, and I still hold up a Spell Stutter, but is that really much? I draw a card, but is that much here? What am I doing next turn? I'm taking 5, I draw a card if he does nothing. Yeah. Plots, okay. Do we draw a card? Or do we get more treasure? So it's really depending on what my top deck is, and it's hard to tell, right? Making a treasure means I can ruthlessly negotiate, which I draw a card anyways with that. So maybe that's better. Yeah, I think that was better. That was a better choice. So what I want to do is ruthlessly negotiate this turn. I think I want to tap the Fountain Pour. Exiles a card and I draw a card. They exile a land, okay. Exile another card and I draw a card. Oh, I don't draw, but exile another card anyways. Doesn't really have a choice. He's got one card, right? He's gonna Felonious Rage, okay. I mean, I could get rid of that, but it doesn't do anything this turn. Why would I bother? There's a Slick Shot. Does he have a pump spell? Might of the Meek. So I gotta get rid of that. He gets a prowess anyways? I think I had to get rid of the Slick Shot. It's too scary. He targeted weird. Why did he target his mouse? Heartfire Hero. Spell Stutter. Okay, I can play this. He doesn't discard a card, but I have a blocker. Get a double strike. And then nothing. Oh, that's cool. I think it's just screwed now. Gig's command. Let's see. Destroy each creature. Let's get 2+1/+1. That's a 4/5 lifelinker. Give me 4 life. GG. Slowly grinding out. I can't believe I drew all of my spell stutters instead of any removal. But we got there. We got there. Alright, our opponent is I Law So Hard. Please don't law me. Opponent goes first. I mean, this would be a good hand if I go first. Not a great hand since our opponent goes first, but I still think if I keep... I got removal. You know what? I don't care anymore. Let's just see what happens. Sleep-Cursed Faerie. Blue-white, huh? How's he gonna fight a fairy? And he can't, that's the answer. Well, we're not doing anything this turn, so... Negotiate you. What did he exile? My Stone, Weak Stone. Alright, that's concerning. I don't need a Disfigure. What I'm concerned about is if he drops just... Yeah, he's just gonna drop the Simulacrum this turn. Alright, gotta stop everything he plays from this point on. Not very easy to do. Even keep to the top. Mori Vault. He's got 4 mana, he can play something. Simulacrum? Nah, let's stop that. Second one from happening. So, don't get to untap here, but I get to Halo Forager. Take action. Pay 1. And I shall ruthlessly negotiate you. Gets rid of 1 and draw a card. Ooh, I wish I had this. Fabrication Foundry. gonna kill my Halo Forager. This is gonna exile one or more artifact you control because of red mana cost X. Return target artifact from graveyard. Okay, so at least he doesn't have any right now. Kind of ego drain him. I have fairies, so is it the one time that ego drain is gonna work? It's gonna kill my Halo Forager with a get loss. I can use those map tokens. Well, there's your My Stone, Weak Stone. Why did you do that? I don't need a Faerie Fencing. Take 3. He's gonna turn to Anchorage Life. He does not. So I'm gonna sack a token to draw a card. Thanks for those tokens. It's gonna help me a lot. Formoli Vault. He needs to discard a card. Can he do that if he can't discard a card? Right? He can't, I think. I think that's how that works if he cannot discard a card. Attack for another 3. This is gonna take a while for me to win. And our opponent definitely is one draw away from winning. I can't stop that. I can sacrifice a token to draw a card. Found port? Alright, that's not very useful. Just went from winning to losing. There's a 5-5 on board. So this is going to be -3, right? Can he activate it in response? No. Okay, so for 2. Or I can kill this. If I killed this, this will be a 4-4. I still can't kill a 4-4. Faerie Fencing only kills one of those 2. Actually, that's not great. I can kill the spider, but he can still sack this to make a simulacrum. What can I do to stop that? Nothing. He blocks. I can get him with that. Fountain Pour for extra card draw. He's gonna Vault out the Loran. Okay, I can't stop that. You just look at the top, how many cards? 1, 2, 3, top 3 cards, and put 1 in his hand. Still has 3 mana to play something. He's looking at the Sleep-Cursed Faerie, thinking how to kill it. I think I'm just gonna make the fish, and we'll go face. Fish time. Sack this to draw a card. Cavern? That's not great. Alright, what does this do? Activate only as a sorcery. That's important. So, here's an attack for 4. Staying fairies. Vault again, okay. Might be able to get there because he doesn't see his foundry. Kind of funny. Play it? No? It's not like I have a counter spell, right? I am holding this up. This is 5 damage. Would an extra 1 damage matter? No. The answer is no. Alright, guess I'll hold up my removal. Or hold up my counterspell. So you have a 3 steps. Take it back. Take it back. Haha, got him. It was a stupid counterspell work. The Spellscorn Coven, of all cards. Alright, our opponent is RD. Andrid? Ender. One goes first. We got 4 drops and 5 drops, so not keeping his hand. Those otters, this avatar looks very red to me. Maybe there isn't, and that might be a reason to keep, but I don't think so. Talion is such a good card in a meta that cannot just handle him. Fortunately, or her, I don't know. But unfortunately, I had to mulligan this. Way worse of a hand. So that's usually what happens when I mulligan. Yeah, I can't even negotiate. That was maybe not right. I did that too fast because there's 2 swamps. Let's negotiate. I don't think I'm doing anything else. What deck is he? Vanity. What does Vanity do? Destroy target creature. Alright. Here's a Sleep-Cursed Faerie. Good luck trying to destroy it. He's looking at it like, what? How do I kill that? Fountain Pour is real good for our opponent. Unfortunately, I cannot punish it, so we're just gonna keep playing. Second Fountain. Oh man, that's really bad, real bad, right here. 2 Fountain Ports. You pay for it. You paid for it. Then I countered it. All that paying for it didn't work out, did it? Should have used your Fountain Pour when you had the chance. Here comes a Forager. Take action. We'll pay 1. And let's get ourselves a Ruthless Negotiation. Exile a card and I draw a card. We didn't want a 5th land here. I thought the 5th land would be pretty good. Long goodbye. Wow, okay. Why didn't you use that first? Saver. Our opponent's playing removal of the deck. I don't have anything left, but I do have a Fountain Pour. Let me just hold on to that. He does nothing, I make a fish. He can kill my fish, but that means he can't Fountain Pour. Let's attack first. Is that smart? I'm not sure if that's smart. He tapped out so he couldn't sack it. Now I will sack it. Sacrificial fish. Ooh, another Ruthless Negotiation. That will be fun. So let's negotiate first. Get rid of a card. Would you like to draw and decide? No, we got rid of Eclipse. Okay. Let's play another Halo Forager. Sacks it to draw a card. Sure. I'm gonna negotiate with you again. Sack it, and exile a card, and I get a card. Man, I'm gonna get so many Halo Foragers back. He's gonna get a lot of cards on the Fountain Port. That much is true. What can I do here? Not much, right? Yeah, not much. Faerie? Is there anywhere I can draw cards? Not from this. So play a Faerie. He can't stop this Faerie unless he has a long goodbye, which he might. Sleep-Cursed Faerie isn't really doing much in this game anyway, so he would just stay here. Nothing, huh? Then I'll clear treasure token. He exiled a lot of lands. 1, 2. Did he discard any lands? No. He's doing a lot to kill my board. If I sack right now, I don't really get much. I can mill 4, but I don't create anything like tempo-wise. Gig's command gives me back 2 Sleep-Cursed Faeries. Do I just fight him with the 2 Sleep-Cursed Faeries? I don't get any value, so I want to wait till he plays a Gumdrop Poisoner, right? If that's the case, I don't need to sack this turn. Well, kill the Fountain Ports when I have the chance. I'm gonna give more black mana. Give more black mana. And then I will sack a token to draw a card. Spell Stutter. Sewer. Disfigure can go. It's not great. Spell Stutter will help a lot in stopping his stuff. He draw his 5th land. Now I gotta be careful with all those lands. I make treasure. Demo feels great. I stopped the Fountain Port from doing things. Do I do it right now? I do it in response to him doing anything. That's the last of my basic lands. So now we're playing a different game. Blast Zone. Interesting card. Can't really blast anything really useful here, right? So we will take this out. I didn't think this was going to be that long of a game. But man. Alright, do they want to Blast Zone on 1? Here's another Faerie. I don't think playing the Sleep-Cursed Faerie here was right. Honestly, might have been better if I kept it for the Ego Drain, which I do have 2 in the deck. And with all these Fountain Ports, probably would have been better if I did that. So 1, 2 for 1 Fountain Port. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll create a fish and sack it. No, we'll create a treasure and sack it. Got another Ruthless Negotiation. Wow, that's a lot of cards I can get out of his hands. Let's start with this. Vanity. No, that's not what I want. Then we go with this. Take action. We'll pay 1 with the Fountain Port. Let's negotiate. Disfigure, huh? Sure. You killed it. Good job. Still drawing a card on you. Finally, I get my ego drain. It's a little late for that. Still has Spell Stutter up, so Bandit's Talion to take your last card. It's just removal of the deck. Blast Zone, charge it up to 2 probably to take out the Blast Zone. I mean to take out the Bandit's Talent. Plays the Gumdrop Poisoner. Alright, what do? I don't want to kill it. I don't need to kill it because the Gig's command is killing it. Alright, let's return 2 and sack the highest. And we'll return our Halo Foragers, the most annoying cards in the world. And we will play a tap land here. That land can go. So Ego Drain's real good, right? I don't know if I want to use it right now, so I'll have to exile a card. I'll go a card down. That's fine. I'll just make a fish. If he blows up my Bandit's Talent. Nothing, huh? Then I make fish. Alright. Don't have any fairies right now in my hand. Let's go for the attack, see what he does. I gotta see, when he gets to 8 mana, that's why I have to worry, because Spell Stutter only counters a Virtue for 7, right? So if he has 9 mana, he goes over it. I gotta be careful about that. In the meantime, let's level this up slowly. Don't need to go fast here. He's holding on to cards in his hand, which is interesting. Sack this token and draw a card. That's a land. And now we'll create... Is he gonna kill my fish with a spell? I don't think I mind if he does that. Still 7 lands. So still don't have to worry. The Spell Stutter will still stutter out his Virtue if he had it. I don't have to discard, right? Not yet. So let's level this out. He gets another Fountain Port. That's where it gets annoying because I'm out of the cards that kill his land. So I can slowly kill him with this. But I think I want to Ego Drain this turn to see what he has. It's a lot to go for the throws. Some of these throws can go. I Ego Drain ye. Also it's 8 mana, so I gotta start watching out. There is a Virtue. Take all that Virtue, and he's got nothing. Okay, if he goes for the throw, my Halo Forager, then he's gonna lose. Damage to the Bandit's talent. Opponent's graveyard, I can take a Disfigure. I can take a lot of cards from his graveyard, honestly. But now it's Virtue, right? So here's an Ego Drain. That's not correct at all. But okay, you got it. So here's what happens when you do that, right? Ego Drain you, down your last go for the throw. You use your last go for the throw. I sack my token to draw a card. So then I have to exile a card, I think. He pops the Blast Zone to break my Bandit's talent. I draw a card here. Nothing happens. I gotta exile a card, so we'll take out the Sewer. Then we'll play our Bandit's talent. Do I? No. Will he hold back? I still think I keep the Fountain Pour up. He's not gonna hold the last card back. He does. Jesus, somebody's greedy. Or it could be a go for the throw or something, you know, that he can't use. Get rid of that last card. You're gonna have to. Is it a go for the throw? Is it GG time? It's a land. Why did you keep a land? Game over. Good game. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you've seen those games, how does this feel? I gotta say, a few of those games felt really drawn out, and that is kind of the idea, because Ego Drain and Ruthless Negotiation are such good values once we can bounce them or replay them with Halo Forager. And the great thing about Halo Forager is that once our opponent kills a few of them, we can bring them back with Gix Command, and then we can Halo Forager the Gix Command. So that is almost infinite value. It's not actually infinite, but it's so much value that continues to keep giving. In the meantime, our opponent is running out of cards on their hand because Ego Drain and Ruthless Negotiation, and then Bandit's Talon will force them to hold cards in their hand, which we can then make them discard. So really the synergy that I learned with Bandit's Talon in that our opponent tries to hold cards, then Ego Drain and Ruthless Negotiation gets value because they're holding cards in their hand, right? That's the long con of this game. A few cards I do think about maybe cutting. Sleep-Cursed Faerie, good, not great. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure how good I can use this card, how well I can use this card. It's really hard, but you know, I think a lot of times it's just sort of a distraction for our opponent, and that's important so that we don't die. Faerie Fencing, on the other hand, I think that's very terrible. I never really got to use Faerie Fencing in a way that was worthwhile. I mean, I think if I take out Faerie Fencing and just had like Bitter Triumph, I probably would have done better. So yeah, I think that might be something that we do swap out. Talon probably can go. I don't think we run Talon that often. Shieldra is probably better, but it's neither here nor there, right? I think for a Faerie deck, just because there's some Faerie synergies, Talon might still be better. So I think if you have Talons, run Talon. If you don't have Talons and you want to try this deck, you can run Shieldra and it won't be the end of the world. So one other thing that I really want is at least one Virtue, but probably two Virtue. I'm not sure where I can slot in the Virtues yet, but maybe it just comes into Faerie Fencing, right? Cut the Faerie Fencing, putting Virtue, and maybe we'll cut a Bandit's Talon or cut one Ruthless Negotiation to put in the Bitter Triumphs. I'm not sure about that. We might not even need Bitter Triumphs because, well, go for the throw and Disfigure will kill most things, and Ego Drain and Ruthless Negotiation will get rid of a lot of cards in their hand. It's still something to kind of figure out in this Faerie deck, but it's really fun. The heart of the deck is Halo Forager with Ruthless Negotiation, and we saw that in action in several games, and those games made me happy, right? It's a synergy that a lot of people don't really try, and now that I tried it and it looked like it sort of worked, that makes me happy about it. That's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.